All right, I guess this is a response to a DJ music, I suppose, because I thought it was done when we hashed it out behind the scenes in Art's channel, Art New Styles channel, in the back talk. I thought we had all hashed it out, but some people want to keep things going. And I guess you had to get it off your chest, because I guess we sure did. And it wasn't really on Art's channel about what goes on with women, okay? Because really, that's not really what the argument was about. It's about how we handle ourselves on a panel. Now, for the most part, when we go on Art New Styles channel, we really don't talk about women that much. A little bit, but here and there, but we don't really go on there to complain about women, as he says. That's not what we do on his channel. And when I do my streams, we might complain about women a little bit, or we complain about what's going on in men's lives with their mother, their sisters, their daughters, sometimes their sons, their wives, and their girlfriends, because it's a one-on-one thing. It's almost called like group therapy. In fact, I had a questionnaire on my Patreon. I think I did a video on our Patreon. Do people use YouTube, especially YouTube panels, for group therapy? And as a matter of fact, they probably do. It's probably the thing is that the reason black men come on to YouTube and sit in panels, even listen to panels, is because it is group therapy. It's called crowdsourcing. Because black men do have problems, and they've always had problems with their women. But guess what? So do white men. It's called MRAs, MGTOWs, pickup artists, dating coaches. In fact, they have conventions all over the world where white men go to and talk about their problems. Well, white men do it on blogs and forums. So it's not specific to black men, okay? And these forums and these YouTube channels come in all different languages and all parts of the world. So men do come together to complain. That's what men do. Because there's nothing but men on my channels. Like my subs are like 93%, 97% men. 93% men. And I got 30,000 of them, 35,000 of them. It's a lot of men. So men do come there and do that. I don't know where you get that from your man. And you're doing the exact same thing that we do. We also talk about comic books. We also talk about stock market. We also talk about science, the creation of the universe, religion, what have you. We've done all that. How do I know? Put in 5,000 hours on panels talking to men. I don't know how many you have done. I don't think it's very much. So men do come together to talk about their problems so they can actually get ideas and then in the real world go out and solve them. And I have many letters where men did actually do that. I have many emails and letters where men said I saved their lives. I don't know if you got any. Next item on the agenda. You're talking about so-called educated lames that couldn't go off the porch, couldn't go to the dance, had the football player, the athlete date the woman that they wanted, didn't go to the prom, didn't participate in anything, and had to bear down at the books until they got 30 years old. Maybe some did. It wasn't me or anybody that was on that panel. I have always had little girls following me since I was like 3 years old. I have never wanted for female attention. Now, were there women that I couldn't get? Yeah, sure. But there's also women that I got that other people wanted. I have never wanted for female companionship. I probably turned down more women than you got. Now, I've aged out, so it's not an issue for me. But I was an athlete in high school. I didn't have a problem with women. Now, my problem is that my parents weren't rich. They didn't have a lot of money. That was my issue. But I had pretty little girls following me at 12 and 13 years old. I had little white girls at my middle school and my high school that said I was cute. So women were never the issue. Women caused problems, but female attention wasn't the issue. I went to a high school where there was nothing but 9s and 10s. In fact, my high school in Los Angeles, which is a very big city, was either first or second as far as black women that had good looks. In fact, Art used to tell me he went to Carson and they came to where I was in high school to pick up the pretty girls, if they could. So that wasn't my issue. Neither was Smooth, because Smooth hasn't gotten divorced yet. He's got a wife and a kid. Smooth he was from Poland, I do believe, from Eastern Europe, where he moved from. He's Nigerian, so he's been to 3 continents. So Smooth wasn't that little nerdy kid on the porch, okay? That wasn't him. Neither was Nameless. Neither was the 7. Even Art wasn't that way. Now, are there squares in SYSBM or the Manosphere? Of course there is. But there's squares everywhere. Are there some men that are mad about the women they couldn't get? Sure they are. Obsidian's one of them. But Obsidian is not the norm. So you need to speak about what you know. That these guys are bitter because they couldn't get a woman. Most guys are here because they had issues with their girlfriends and their wives and their baby mamas, okay? Most guys, that's why they're here. Most guys don't like the raw deal they got when they try to date black women. SYSBM is notoriously that way because they didn't get attention from black women because of who they were and how they acted and how square they were. But guess who they did get attention from? Other races of women, which is why they went that way, which is what SYSBM probably means. Pick the best woman for you. A lot of the guys in SYSBM did date black women, but didn't like them, or didn't like the attitudes that they had, or didn't like the quality of black women they were getting, and went with women that treated them better. That's really what it is. They just went with women that treated them better, which is what you're mad about. All people are mad about with SYSBM, which you didn't pronounce very well. I don't know why. I don't know if you're getting to be senile or what, man, because you sound like, I don't know. I don't exactly know how old you are, man, because that's, I don't know. You come on trying to come off like you're 50. You sound like you're 80 because you keep jumping from one point to another, and what you're talking about and your points are inaccurate. If you're going to speak authoritatively of what you hear, should at least study more. Should at least know the acronym. SYSBM is actually a very small group, extremely small group. And most of the people in SYSBM are probably already married. I would say 80% of them are already married. And you have a few of the younger ones that have already started relationships overseas. And they're coming together because they're getting tired of the black community bothering them for doing that. But I digress. Now, I don't know what the Million Man March has to do with anything. Because I remember the Million Man March was damn near 30 years ago. Now, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I really don't. So I don't really get that point. But I guess that was the highlight of your life. I didn't go because I had to work. I had friends that went, lots of friends that went. I didn't go. I had to work. I had children that I had to take care of. Yes, I had children. I actually had my daughter at the time, and basically I needed to take care of her. So I don't get this part where you think that the group that you're talking to hated women. And basically, most of the people that you were talking to weren't SYSBM. In fact, to my knowledge, none of them really were. The only one that would qualify SYSBM was the host, which was Art, who's married to a Brazilian woman. But you don't even get that part because I don't think you're smart enough to actually realize that. Some of the SYSBM brothers were Doms. Basically, if you know what BDSM is. A lot of them were in the military. In fact, 2 of the guys that you were talking to had been in the military. One of the guys you were talking to was already married with kids at home. One of the guys actually had been married, which was Smooth. Another one of the guys you talked to has a fiance. Me and the other Art of Idmore, we've already been through that. So ours is not that women rejected us. Ours is that women gave us hell when we were in a relationship with them, which is why a lot of guys are here. But most of the guys like you do not know what the fuck you are talking about, which is the issue. You're guessing at the effects of slavery on our people and the remedy for it. You're guessing because you haven't read, because you haven't studied, and you don't know shit. Just like when you said, what are we doing in women's spaces? I'm like, what are you talking about? YouTube is not a woman's space. My man, you're on YouTube. You should know that. It's a neutral platform. And it would not be the manosphere if women were in it or women ran it, which is the problem that we had in the whole 3-hour discussion that we had with you. You ramble. You jump from one subject to the next just like women do. And then you started screaming like a juvenile and started calling names, and then talk about we were calling you names and we had you cornered. Have you cornered? You could have left anytime you wanted. The thing is, you didn't have an argument. That's how come you were screaming. And your real agenda is because what black men say about black women hurts your feelings. Your feelings. Men ain't supposed to feel, they're supposed to think. And you're reacting on emotion instead of thought. And then just like a woman, you come back to your channel and tell your version of the story instead of being accurate. The whole thing started by you getting out of your place because James Keels was going at this woman that basically was in the chat or up on the panel talking through people. It was because she couldn't hear. And she kept on talking because she couldn't hear. And James was trying to tell her through the chat that stop talking through people on the panel. And then they went back and forth, but they could have settled that if the moderator or the owner of the channel is not going to handle the moderator, then it's not your job to jump into it. Just like everybody else was quiet, waiting for the person whose channel it is to handle his mod. That's his job, not yours. But you took it upon yourself to white knight because the woman came in and said, ain't no brother stepping up and checking this dude. And you thought that it was your job to come on a panel that you've really never been on with people that you don't know to come in and check us like we're children. In fact, a lot of your language is trying to talk to us like we're children, like what men don't do, like we ain't fucking men. Men do a lot of things, and they don't all act the same, and they don't all agree. And men do get together and talk, like I said before, all the time. It's called Congress. They do get together and debate all the time. In fact, men don't get together enough to talk about problems and strategize and come up with solutions, which is really why you guys don't like it, because black men have finally gotten together and said, we're going to get together and talk about this. We're going to talk this out. We're going to tell our story. And if we call some names and call some black women out of their names, guess what? So be it. Because at the end of the day, we don't have to police our language because we're in our space. Just like we were telling you, we're in our own space. If you didn't like the way things were going, things were being said, you could have bounced. But let me get to this last piece because I don't want to go on too long. I started to slice up your so-called presentation, and I probably will eventually if I decided to have some time for it. But the thing is, you rambled so much, you got so many things wrong. Your logic was so bad that it would have probably caused more confusion than it would have been a rebuttal or an argument. You're trying to sound like you're an intellectual, and you're not. You're trying to sound studious, and you're not. You're trying to elucidate or explain the effects of slavery on our current condition, and you can't. Because you think that talking nice to black women is going to change things, and it doesn't. Because black women don't want to change. If black women don't want to change, especially in this environment where black men have choice, then black men can choose other groups of women, which is something that you guys don't like, which is the real problem that you're having. Well, you can say it nicer. Yeah, we could, but why? Talk about cyber stalking women. We ain't got a cyber stalk. When women come over here and cyber stalk us, that's like that chick sent that email to found out where this dude worked and contacted his boss because she stalked him. I've been cyber stalked. So guess what? It ain't that illegal, because there's people that have cyber stalked me for 5 years. Here's what it is. But I'm a big boy, I can handle it. The reason that we even talked to you, the reason I even got on, because you're disrupting Art's panel and we're trying to help him grow his channel, and you're an impediment to it. If you had anything of worth, anything that's logical, any kind of work that's worth listening to, I'm all ears. With this rambling, babbling, incoherent bullshit that I've heard over the last 20 years that doesn't make any sense, I'm done with that. Come with something better. Step up your game. Step up your game. I'm willing to listen. Step up your game. I might even agree with you. You wanted to see how many people that actually agree with you? I mean, I viewed the doggone thing like 3 times, stopping and starting. And basically, last I looked, you had, 23 views? And 4 or 5 of them are mine? That shows you something, right? You've had your video up, 2 or 3 days? You got 20 views. That's how many people agree with you. I post that I'm getting ready to go live. Before I even say word 1, I got 20 people watching. I was on my partner's channel tonight. I brought 70 people with me. When I come to Art's channel, and I post my community tab, I bring 50, 60 people with me, just with me. On my last live stream, I got 5,000 views, dude. You're trying to compare us to you. You're gonna try to compare me to you. You're trying to make it a popularity contest on YouTube, really? You have a tiny channel. You have 200 subscribers. I was on a white MGTOW channel for like a year and a half. I had more subscribers in a year and a half, white subscribers in a year and a half, than you have right now at 500. It took me 6 months to get to 500 subscribers. Am I grateful? Yes. And that was on a white channel. I have dead channels that I barely upload on. My tiny channels, which is my book channel, has more subscribers than you. I have more patrons than you have subscribers. And you're talking about who's more popular. What I don't like is people that complain like you that don't do no work. You don't read, you don't study, you go by gossip social media and you post that as evidence. Talking points maybe, but as evidence. Come on, man. And you come back and complain like women, like we really did you wrong. And you're the one that came in and disrupted the panel. Even before you came in and you tried to chin check SYSBM so-called. The panel was calm. You came in and started the ruckus. And then said you wasn't gonna back down. You said you were gonna chin check us on that channel. And now we come over here, you were cornered. You ain't got no argument, man. Anyway, last point. SYSBM is an effect, not a cause. Brothers were already doing it. Art's already done it. The guy's channel that you were on that was hosting you, your host has already done it. There's guys that are on Crew's Discord, like you see, he's already done it. And the millennials 25 and millennials 30 and younger and Generation Z's, they've already voted. I'm in Los Angeles. Half the black boys are dating Latinas, and that's a conservative figure. There's pictures I see from Alabama, from Georgia, from Mississippi, North Carolina, Florida, where you have black boys dating white women and Latina women. They've already decided. The young folks, the young men have already decided. It's not that they won't deal with a black woman. They're gonna deal with the best woman for them, period. Now, black women can either get their shit together and compete, or they can get in where they fit in. Black men are tired of begging black women to get their shit together. And as long as we were complaining, black women were actually happy. When black men saying they were gonna bounce, now everybody's getting upset. Which is why they hate SYSBM, because black men say we gonna bounce. We're not gonna talk to you. Give you the middle finger on our way out. Don't even ask us who hurt us, because it doesn't matter. And black men are tired of complaining about women, and they're gonna do something about it, which they're in the position and in motion of doing. And that's gonna happen because there is no rule against it. There's nothing to stop it. White men aren't gonna stop it because they don't care. White women are willing to accept black men. Asian women are willing to accept black men. Latinas are definitely willing to accept black men, and they're doing it with the poorest of black men. So you can squawk about it. You can try to think that you can chin check it with all the 20 views that you have. You can chin check SYSBM just because you got on a smartphone and you uploaded whatever you're gonna do to YouTube and say chin check the manosphere or the black manosphere. If you weren't on Discord and Crew hadn't asked me to rejoin his Discord, I'd never even heard you. I would have never even heard that you even put up a video. And evidently, even people on Crew's Discord hasn't even heard you put up a video. And as far as I'm concerned, very few other people gonna hear it too, because this is gonna go on my smallest channel. It's gonna be unlisted because I'm gonna follow the instructions that my good buddy and my good friend and one of my mentors, Kevin Samuel, says. Don't give people like you any shine. Because at the end of the day, that's probably all you really want is some shine. But you ain't gonna get it this way. Now, if you want to step up and have a discussion, we can have a discussion. But the thing is, I know you can't because you don't have anything in your back pocket to back anything that you say up. Except some outdated ideas that didn't work when they were new. Million Man March didn't solve shit. Make brothers feel good, had a little fellowship, and they bounced. And the women got jealous because they didn't want the men to do what? Overtake them, right? Outdo them. So they had tried to have a Million Women's March because our black women are not going to let us outdo them at anything if they can possibly help it. Anyway, now I'm rambling because your argument is so disconnected and not pointed enough, okay? Next time, sharpen your argument. If you need to write it down, write it down. You are not good at a stream of consciousness, okay? You cannot keep yourself on track. You cannot keep yourself on point. And you cannot even talk for 5 minutes without rambling. This is not your cup of tea, bruh. Intellectual thought is not you. Stick to music. Anyway, with that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out. And I'll check you Negroes on the next.